tell us, what sort of opportunities are there for affiliates today in the Brazilian market?
I think there's plenty of opportunities. I think there's opportunities in every vertical, in every front of the game, that is, from a sports book to other operators who also includes also other verticals in their product. There is plenty operators, and I think it's a matter of the affiliate community and the operators getting together, understanding the potential of the market, and moving forward with it. I mean, digital marketing, email marketing, SMS marketing, affiliate sites, the regular revenue share. I think especially for Brazilian affiliates, there's a massive opportunity there because the digital, the iGaming affiliates community in Brazil is not that large yet. So there's a massive opportunities for already existing iGaming affiliates to start working in Brazil. And also there's an opportunity for affiliates in Brazil, digital marketing affiliate, to learn and make the transition from digital marketing into iGaming as well.
And what about the fixed odds sportsbook regulation that's ongoing at the moment? I mean, will this lead to new controls for advertising and marketing? And how much have you at LeoVegas and the wider industry engaged with the ministry consultations that are being run as part of this process?
Unfortunately, it is not very clear yet if the law will be passed as it is, if the current draft, the current piece of regulation will be what's going to be passed and established. Having said so, most operators are not satisfied with the piece of regulation as it is. It comes across as the proposed percentage and taxing models have been made thinking upon a lottery model, a lottery business, not necessarily considering an operation that can make a loss. For instance, a sportsbook operation or even a casino operation for future reasons. So as it stands, the industry, especially the international operators, kind of frown upon it. From an engagement perspective, there has been a public consultation ran by the Brazilian government. The answers to the participation in that consultation have been very high from what I heard. However, I have not heard many significant changes from the previous draft to the current one.
And then how much of a concern is the 3% turnover tax? Because coupled with the mandated 89% return to players, that effectively leaves future licensees with 8% of turnover potentially. And does this leave enough room for affiliates?
That's a very good question. It can be controversial. If you ask a different operator, they might say yes, they're okay with that. From my perspective, I don't think that's the best way forward. I think especially taxing on turnover is not a very interesting model, again, for an operation that can incur a loss, like a sportsbook operation and a casino operation. We shouldn't be taxing on turnover. We should perhaps consider, and this is the example that we as industry perhaps should be talking to the government about, we should be considering a taxing on GGR. Instead of a 1%, and I'm talking 1%, I'm not even talking 3%, instead of a 1% on turnover, why not a 15% on GGR? Or even, we can even think on NGR models. There's so many ways. I do not understand what is the actual need for taxing on turnover, especially in operations like sportsbook and potentially casino.
And then finally, Thomas, will sports betting alone be enough for a successful market? Or do you think the fixed odds regulations are just phase one of a wider expansion of new online gaming products such as casino?
Absolutely. The expectation is that the whole industry gets looked upon, considered, and regulated eventually. As it stands, the sportsbook market in Brazil, it's still a relatively small market which tends to grow. I personally do not think that just because we Brazilians are sports fans, or because we love football, or because we've been world champion 5 times, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are sports book fanatics, that we love sports betting. I personally think the Brazilians are very superstitious by nature. We love gambling. You have the example of Jogo do Bicho, which, if you look at Instituto do Jogo Legal numbers, out of 5 billion euros that gets moved, that gets turned over in all sorts of underground, illegal, and legal gaming in Brazil, 5 billion euros out of that 5 billion, 3.2 billion euros actually comes from Jogo do Bicho. From that, you get the picture. The Brazilians might not necessarily be big in sports betting, although we love football, we love our sports. Different story when it comes to playing. I really believe that what's really going to make a difference in Brazil is the eventual legalization and regulation of not only sports, but also casino verticals and some other verticals as well.